Hey, what's going on, everybody? We've got, I guess we'll call it the weekly update since it's cold, wet, and not a lot going on without the greenhouse and just general weather. But got one of my batches of seeds from MI Gardener come in. So, as I already talked about, watermelon, radish, have not grown them real well. Seems like every time I go to plant them, something happens. I want to try pepperoncinis. I tried last year, tried too late. I would like to get them and pickle them. That would be ideal. Then some different type of green onions. So these are bunching onions. Look at this stuff on top of the freezer here. Yes, high tech on top of the chest freezer that I bought last year. And finally, they had some rattlesnake beans come in. Still working on trying to grow these. I grew a little bit. Again, started late in the season, going to be starting early as soon as it warms up, so that'll be interesting to see how those go. The cool part, which you kind of saw, but like, what is that? So I ordered, I was after watching a video, I'm not going to name anybody's names, and somebody was selling, I want to say it was elderberry cuttings. It was like one cutting was like 20 bucks. I get to trying to make $1. But I'm like, that's a lot. Even if it's the best thing on the planet. Seems like a lot. So I went hunting around, looked on Amazon. Prices were okay. You never know what you're going to get there. It's like you never know from anybody what you're actually going to get, right? But went tooling around on eBay and found somebody who's been selling a bunch of cuttings, high rating, high volume, I mean high residential volume, not like a commercial grower selling cuttings. But anyway, so I got 12 cuttings, and they had like 10 or 12 different types of cuttings you could get, and out of everything that was there, I was looking for elderberry. I want to try that. Some of them were just hardwood tree things. Didn't want those. So anyways, I ended up with elderberry, mulberry, and fig. Now, didn't think about it until a day or so ago. I'm like, well, what the heck kind of fig is this? So I need to mail them and ask them what type of fig. But I figured, what the heck, for the 12 cuttings, it was like 22 or 24 bucks. There was a little delay because there was some freezing where they were at, and they threw in a couple extra cuttings as soon as it warmed up a little bit, which I thought was good to take into consideration, not just where they were cutting it from, but then shipping in the mail, because obviously, coming in the mail is not going to be sent in a warm truck. But so what I did is I took a couple of the cuttings and through multiple videos, so I wrapped them in paper towels, put them in Ziploc bags. I dated them, and then they're sitting on top of the freezer, where it's fairly warm in the cubby that it sits. So we'll see what happens. And then I did a couple each in the, I guess we'll generically call them, what does the lead farmer call them? Peekaboo cups. So inside all the cups or the containers is a 50-50 mix of vermiculite and perlite, so we get some aeration and some moisture holding. So the peekaboo cup, if you don't know what that is, so you have a clear solo cup inside that has a couple slats in the bottom, and then you have a darker solo cup on the outside. So that way it looks like, the roots think it's in the dark, but then you can lift the cup out and you can look for roots. So there's no wondering, did it root yet? Did it root yet? And obviously then you can water if needed. Then I've got the plastic bag zip tied, trying to keep it a little bit warmer. Granted, it's not overly warm in the house, but also keep some moisture inside. And then if it gets to a point where it's getting warmer and there's condensation, you clip a little bit in the corner. I guess is supposed to help with that. So I've got a couple each in the peekaboo cups. So there's one there, one hiding back there, and one here. One of the fig clippings came as an air layer, so I put that in a bigger pot and just planted that. And then I took 2 or 3, whatever's left of each, and put them. I had these Costco mixed nut containers, so now there's no holes cut in any of these containers. That pot actually does have holes in the bottom, so there's a little bit of moisture in this grow tray, but you know, it's still gonna all behave the same. So that is the, oh, it's cool but not so cool. But anyways, I've got a bunch of cuttings and we're going to see how they go. So they've only been planted for a couple of days. Today's what, the 9th? So I did the ones in bags a couple days ago, and I did most of these the last 2 days. Actually, it would have been Friday night, I think, that I did these. Doesn't matter, it's only 1 day or 2. So we'll see what happens in about a month or so, especially with the peekaboo cups. I should be able to lift those up and take a look in there. Other than that, that's it for cuttings. That's it for that delivery of MI Gardener. Tomorrow or Tuesday should be getting the other delivery, which has those rare crimson tomatoes. It's not a big deal that they arrive, right? But it just happened to be, they came in the mail today. I said, oh, let's stick them in the video. And then I cleaned the patio door, not that you care, but I have some of the world's worst neighbors, and their brats are outside. So we're just going to go from the inside out. Nothing going on out here except for the swamp. No new changes in growth or anything. Yeah, so nothing happening outside except for just, you know, like tomato plants dying and whatnot. That's all I've got going on in the backyard. Just a whole lot of nothing. It's cold, wet, and things are just growing slow, and there's just not going to be updates for a while. Although the baby bok choys, which I did not pick, are flowering and probably tough at this point, but we'll see what happens. And obviously the carrots right outside here. So other than that, that's all I've got for this week. Just it's more all about the cuttings, and although 2 days of sunshine in California, mid-50s, more rain coming this week. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.